This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 503.
I program my own computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. We have the technology.
Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. We have a lot of upcoming events. There are 6 WordCamps in the next weekend coming up. Starting with WordCamp Germany, October 19th through 21st. That is in Rondell, Stadthalle, Rondell. WordCamp Sevilla, Spain, October 20th through 22nd. WordCamp Tokyo, October 21st. WordCamp Wroclaw, which is in Poland, October 21st also. And WordCamp Tegal, I believe that is in, where is that one? I forget the top of my head. It's in Indonesia, October 22nd. So yeah, none in the States, but 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. Yes, 5 across the world. So check them out if you're going to be around those areas. Pretty cool indeed. All right, moving on to segment 1 in the news. Only one thing here, I believe. Yeah, one thing here. WordPress, the WordPress Photos directory surpassed 10,000 images. And in case you don't know what that is, it is a free and growing resource for CC0 licensed photos. For those who don't know what CC0 is, I don't know actually what it stands for technically. Let's see, do I have the definition here? Creative Commons, no rights reserved. So it's CC0, Creative Commons. It allows everyone to use the photos anywhere for any purpose without need for permission, attribution, or payment. So it's pretty cool. So it's over 10,000 images. Pretty neat. I've actually submitted one. There's a link in the show notes about the directory and a link to the one I submitted a few months back. So I have one in there as well. Pretty cool. By the way, the submissions are moderated by a team of volunteers. So it's kind of neat. It's all volunteer based. Everything's volunteer, and it applies by and abides by all any applicable laws, etc. So check that out as well, and also submit, because it only benefits everybody to have more free available photography to be used as we need and see fit. All right, moving on, segment 2. This week's episode, Meat Potatoes, is the Q&A episode. It's been 8 weeks, so it's time to answer some questions that came in. I have 4 of them. I think, yeah, there's 4 here. First one is sent in by Robert. Why does PHP 8 and above break so many things, plugins and whatnot? Again, sent by Robert. Well, that is a fantastic question. And as we just had this issue ourselves in my agency a few weeks back, where the host in this case, was actually charging the client a monthly fee to maintain an older version of PHP, which I thought was kind of crazy. But anyway, the reason that PHP broke things and breaks things is a fairly standard answer. There are 3 actually standard answers here, and none of them have to do with it depends. They are in no specific order. Number 1, deprecated functions and features. PHP does evolve over time, and with each new version, some older functions or features may be deprecated or removed entirely. So if a WordPress plugin relies on a deprecated PHP function or feature, it's going to break. It's that simple. Number 2 reason is namespace conflicts. PHP 8 may reveal a namespace conflict that were not apparent in earlier versions. That way, that also may if the plugin's using the same namespace as a feature introduced in 8, a conflict will occur and break things. And number 3 is the compatibility with external libraries. Some plugins rely on external libraries that may not be updated for PHP 8 compatibility. Those libraries aren't updated. That can lead to conflicts. Again, those are the top 3 reasons, and doing some research out there, and I knew about those ones. And so yeah, you want to go up to 8.1, I believe, is the latest and most stable. And you get a huge bump in increase over 5.7, over 7.1. But keep in mind, some hosts are now charging monthly fees, $5 to $10 a month, to maintain older versions of PHP for some odd reason. So I think they should just kind of push people up. But of course, then they also say, well, if this doesn't work, we can test this for you and we charge you for it as well. So it's a business, I guess. So it is what it is. All right. Cool. Great question and timely, actually. So next one is sent in by someone anonymous, and I go figure because of this. What is more important on web development, design or the code? Well, dang it. Such a simple question and one that may not ruffle any feathers if I answer this the wrong way. No, I'm kidding. It's not a terrible question. I'm going to go on a broad stroke here because I've discussed the differences of back end and front end in other episodes. But in practice, the importance of design and code often depends on the specific goals and requirements of a project. Now, I have like four sections here. First and foremost, for a heavy content site, design may take a backseat to content organization and accessibility. The focus is on presenting information in a clear, structured manner. Okay, that's a thought you want to keep in mind here. For a visual portfolio or e-commerce, again, design is often paramount. Aesthetic appeal, intuitive navigation, and showcasing products or the work itself is effective and crucial. Okay. Now, on the flip side of that coin, for a web application, code is typically the primary focus. Functionality, performance, smooth user experience, UX, UI are paramount. Design still matters, but it complements the functionality. Again, that's for a web application. And lastly, for a marketing landing page, for example, design and messaging are critical to capture the user's attention and encouraging conversion. So ultimately, the ideal balance between design and code will vary from project to project. In a successful web development, both aspects should work together in a harmonious manner to create a user-friendly, visually appealing, and functional website or application for that matter. So keep those in mind. Again, it just really comes down to where is the need of the site in question? What's the actual true need? Okay. A fantastic question, anonymous. I appreciate it. I really do. Okay, moving on to the third question here. What is the longest duration you would personally register a domain for and hosting as well? This is sent in by Beth. Thanks, Beth. Well, let's start with domains. As I used to have a problem, I use problem in air quotes, with domain purchases. I'd buy them willy-nilly, have an idea and all. Well, now I lead into the one-year camp of these days. That being said, I have registered a few of my domains for 3 to 5 years ahead of time, just to not have to worry about forgetting about it. And those ones really stand out. It'd be KitchensinkWP, my agency's website, and my namesake, adamsover.com. Those are the three that I buy 3 to 5 years tops at a time. You can, of course, now get one for 100 years through Automatic. I believe you can do the 100-year purchase. I think it's like $38,000. So also my new rule is that, which I started about 2 years back, if I buy a domain and I don't use it within 1 year, like I don't even launch anything, I let it expire. Simple as that. Okay. Now on to the question of hosting. I go 1 year for sure, 2 years tops. I never do month to month. Some places you can do that, but I don't. I just don't want to be stuck per se in case the company gets acquired or goes downhill, support changes, whatever it may be. 2 years would be the top end that I would prepay for hosting for that part of the transaction of hosting of having a website. Okay, so I hope that answers your question there, Beth. Appreciate the question. And lastly, this one comes from Erik. Where did the quote, riches in the niches come from, and do you believe it? Well, I didn't know this actually, where this came from, so I had to look it up myself. Turns out it's often attributed to an American entrepreneur by Robert Allen. He popularized the idea in his book, quote, Multiple Streams of Income, which was published in the early 2000s. So apparently in the book, he emphasized the concept of finding and focusing on specific specialized market niches rather than trying to cater to a broad general audience, et cetera, et cetera. So do I believe it? Yeah, maybe. I think so. I mean, I do believe if you specialize and narrow your focus, the work both on the sales and the marketing and the implementation just becomes easier. And then in theory, the profit margins can go up because you aren't recreating the wheel each and every time. So yeah, I kind of do believe that the riches can be the niches, not necessarily, but there's also the flip side of that quote, whereas if you are a generalist, how's it go? I forget the top of my head now. Something to the effect of, if you serve everybody, you serve nobody. So that kind of thing as well, or something like that. But yeah, I believe it. I think if you can niche down, if you can focus and be the expert, the go-to person for that specific topic, it's definitely beneficial. That said, it could get boring for one aspect because it's just going to be routine over and over again, the same thing. And I know some people get bored with that kind of concept. So it's potato, I guess. I don't know. So there you go. There are the 4 questions of the week, of the last 8 weeks that came in. I wanted to highlight and specialize out there, call out. So I appreciate people sending them in. By all means, you can do that too in the future. I'll get to that in a second. Moving on, segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This is, again, photo related. It's a website over at randomphoto.com. These are not free. It's random, RANDUMB photo.com or photos.com. It's a fun site where you can pick up some random stock photography. Check that out over at randomphoto.com. Pretty neat. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. Like I said, if you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@kitchensinkwp.com, or use the speak pipe function of the website. If you want to support the show, become a Patreon. That would be awesome. kitchensinkwp.com/Patreon. You can sponsor the show. There's a form on the website for that too. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with the WordPress. All right, bye-bye.